Hi, my name is Sanje, and with me is my colleague Martina. We are both studying astronomy, and we work as science educators at the planetarium and the public observatories of Vienna, where we usually do live shows and guided tours. Today, we would like to present to you how we managed to adapt one of our most prominent live shows into an online interactive webinar for kids. Like most of the world, we're in lockdown since last spring, the only exception being the summer of 2020. 1 year ago, we cautiously started with some webinars for kids. And until fall 2020, when we had to close again, we started to offer webinars on a regular basis, once per week for adults and once per week for kids. And we talk in these webinars about any astronomical topic, about tours through the solar system, about what you can see in the night sky. And for this, we use a simple PowerPoint presentation. And additionally, as a planetarium substitute, we use the open freeware software Stellarium. The audience has the possibility to ask us questions anytime, and we answer them with a Q&A feature. Of course, after a long day of homeschooling or home office, listening to yet another PowerPoint presentation is quite bland. So we had to rethink our online offer.
Yes, and therefore we, and by saying we, I mean the program management of the planetarium, adapted one of our most popular shows, Space4Kids, to a more interactive webinar format. Shortly, what is Space4Kids about? Space4Kids is a show for children aging between 7 to 10 years and is therefore highly popular for elementary school classes. In Space4Kids, we teach the children about the objects in the night sky. It is highly interactive, like for every other kids show. We need to ask them questions the whole time and also collect their answers. And what makes this show really special is that we encourage the kids to explore the sky by their own by playing a game with them. The game looks like following. We tell them to take a look at the night sky, memorize everything, close their eyes, and then while they are closing their eyes, we fade in a new object in the sky. When they open their eyes, we encourage them to take a guess what is now new to see at the night sky. So going more into detail, how is Space4Kids structured? So first, we give a small introduction about telescopes, how they help us to explore the universe, about stars and scales. For example, how big is the Earth compared to the Sun? And then we start with our game. In the first round, we talk about the Milky Way and galaxies in general. In the second round, we talk about shooting stars and comets. In round number 3, we talk about our planets. Round number 4 is about satellites and especially the International Space Station. And round 4 is about our moon. And in the end, we also summarize everything up and also perform a little zoom out to show the kids where our place in the whole universe really is. And to adapt it to an online interactive webinar format, we had to change a few things. The storyboard nearly stayed the same. We had to reduce the content a little bit, so everything still fits in this time frame of 1 hour. And of course, the whole procedure had to be adapted. So in general, we use Zoom, but we don't see and we don't hear our audience. Therefore, it's not possible with the classical interactive approach to ask them directly questions and collect their answers, but they always have the option to use the Q&A window and ask questions there, and we usually answer everything at the end. For our game, we don't use this Q&A option because it gets highly confusing with listeners up to 200 people. We therefore use polls, and in these polls, we give them options, and they can choose from this options what they think is now new at the night sky. And in the end, what is a huge difference to our Space4Kids show on Spot, we also show a hands-on experiment and encourage them to do this at home. With this said, we invite you to now take part in the first round of our Space4Kids webinar. And Sanja will show you now how this looks like in action.
Welcome to our Space4Kids webinar. We would like to explore the night sky with you. And for this, we have prepared a little game for you. Of course, any game has rules, so here they are. I will show you the sky. Look at it and memorize every bright spot you see, every black void. Then I will ask you to close your eyes. Do not peek. While you have closed your eyes, I will change something in the night sky. And then, once this is changed, you may open up your eyes again. I will then ask you what has changed. Now, let us switch to our night sky. We're now here in Stellarium, and you can see the night sky where we already set a date and a time. Now look at all these bright stars. Look at them perfectly and remember anything you see, the ground, the sky, the black voids in between. Now, you've got everything memorized. Please close your eyes. Do not peek. All right, you can open up your eyes again. Now, something has changed, and I will start the poll now, and you can then answer what you see. Right, I hope everything has already gotten their answers. I will now show you the poll. Usually, of course, you would here see the results of the poll from the answers the kids post to us. Of course, right now, this is not possible. Okay, right, we found the Milky Way. That's this beautiful shimmering belt of stars in the night sky. It is our home galaxy. And this is the way we can see it. Now I'll switch back and talk a little bit more about the Milky Way. All right, now you can see here once more the Milky Way, this beautiful belt. If you could see it from the outside, it would look like this, like a big, big, bright spiral. But how come that we see a belt, but it seems that it is a spiral? Well, let's try something out. Imagine you've got a cinnamon roll in front of you, and if you look from it from above, you can see that it looks like a coiled up snake. That's the same for the Milky Way. This view here, the big spiral, is only the face-on view, the top-down view. The same goes for the cinnamon roll. If you look on to the cinnamon roll from the edge, or if you're a little crumb inside of it, you will never see the whole spiral. You can only see the edge. And that's the same for the Milky Way. We only see its edge. Therefore, we are one of many planets, only one star in this big, big belt. And with this scheme, the whole webinar works. We show them something in the stellarium, and then we switch back. And we use the polls to get the answers from the kids.
Yes, and like already announced, we also implemented a small experiment. In one round, we talk about satellites, and we focus on the International Space Station. There, we show the kids a video of astronauts and how the life looks like on the International Space Station. And in one sequence, former Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield brings out a towel to demonstrate how water behaves in zero gravity. And we do the same. So we announce in a single slide at the beginning of the webinar that the kids can take a bowl with water and a towel and place it in front of them. And then we show them the whole thing. We put the towel into the water and wring it out and show them how water behaves here on Earth. And then we show them the video of the astronaut and then explain why water behaves the way it does in space. So you see, it's a very, very simple setup of the experiment with ingredients everyone should have at home. And this is very important, and even the idea of doing an experiment together adds a big value to this webinar. So to summarize everything up, I hope we could show that the lockdown does not automatically mean our hands are completely tied regarding our outreach work, but rather it shows new possibilities and new opportunities we can choose to perform our outreach work. When you want to do online webinars for kids, you need to implement more interactive methods to make it more attractive for this group. And also, of course, we only demonstrated a few elements we use for our online webinars, but there are much more other possibilities you can do. For example, enable the microphones if you are able to do this for smaller groups. And we also plan to develop a more interactive way for kids, for example, to align the planets in one of our shows. With this said, Thank you for participating, and we are looking forward to answering your questions if you have any. Thank you.